encourage the body and the mind to settle in. Start to become more aware of sitting and being here in this chair right now. Perfectly timed. Hi. Good morning.
We got stuff out for you, but we need a bolster still.
And we're just starting to settle right here in this room, welcoming all the sounds, all the sensations. Giving each of the senses some time to arrive. The sounds, the smells, and the lingering flavors in the mouth. Sounds of our friend settling in. It's all just, it's all what's happening. Outside sounds, the sounds inside of our own body. Everything that tells us we're here right now. Start to find your breath, more specifically listening to the sounds of your breath. Connecting with the physical sensations of how it feels inside of the body to expand the lungs. How it feels in the heart. Maybe you can sense your heartbeat. And all of this requires our vagus nerve, the longest nerve in the body that connects the brain to the organs. And when you start to breathe and become aware of your breathing, this helps to kind of encourage that nerve to fire up and shoot a little text to each of the organs just to check in. So that when we're sensing the body, we're using that nerve to really check in with the belly, check in with the heart, the kidneys, the liver, all of the pieces that make up our whole. So enjoy a few more breaths, just being in this body. To deepen your breath, longer inhales and longer exhales. Think of it as expanding or stretching your body from the inside out. And growing your capacity then slowly drip that awareness down the body, bringing ease everywhere that your awareness travels. And then as you get towards the feet, allow your awareness to pause here where the body connects to the floor or the chair. And then ease that awareness. Let your body and your mind stay together. But maybe not focus on anything in particular. And start to wiggle fingers and toes. Let yourself know you're about to come back to the external world and start to flutter your eyes open. Good morning. Well, we're going to start with straps. And I want you to become comfortable with unscooting your boot. Yes? So I always say every class, it's your body. You can touch it, move it around, move it in different places, because sometimes you need some help, right? So here we want to make sure that the pelvis is kind of tilted forward. Like if there's fruit in the basket, boop, kind of falls out, right? It's the first step. Like the first thing is, I think, understanding the bones in the body is that learning that our pelvis is like a whole separate thing. And she gets locked down. And so the first thing of being able to connect with moving the pelvis so it tips back and forth. Sometimes, like some of the older ladies I have, they're like, that hasn't moved in years. Like the back's so tight, the front locked down. So even just becoming aware that there's a little tiny tilt in the pelvis, and then slowly start to fold yourself over. And if you don't fold a lot or you've been extra tight lately, give yourself a nice break. Use the bolster. You can always use the elbows at the knees. We're just trying to lengthen and fold the body in half. So a couple deep breaths here. See if we can get a little background tunage. Some nice long breaths. Doing the same as before, opening the body from the inside out. And then maybe a gentle rock back and forth. And then pause again in the center. Maybe you can bring greater heaviness to the head, the shoulders, the chest. Maybe you can drag the body a little bit further. Maybe not. Just investigate. I also enjoy with these big bolsters, if you can push the bolster away and use it to help extend, the floor, maybe the arms can reach out farther. And then a big breath again, in and out. Maybe a flutter of the lips or stick out the tongue and exhale deeply. And then one more moment here. See if you can soften the toes, drop the tongue from the roof of the mouth. movement, slowly work yourself back up to seated. So use the elbows to the knees. Keep the low back soft. Don't get rigid in the low back. And then maybe, a little teenager, as little spinal use as possible. And then sit up nice and tall. We'll grab the strap and hands come to about knee width and lift the strap over the back. Nice inhale and press to the sky. Nice reach. And then exhale, keep the arms where they are, just shoulders. Release. And then again, inhale. Lift while pulling apart. And then exhale. And then one more time. Inhale, lift. Pull that strap apart. And exhale back to the knees. Let that tension go. We'll do the same thing again. Inhale. Lift up while pulling apart. Little tip back. Up and over the head if the spine, arms allow. And then exhale, come back more to a neutral. And then again, inhale, lift up. See if you can bend a little bit back. And then exhale back to center. Last time, inhale, lift. And then see if there's any bend in the spine. And exhale, come back to center. Arms come back down. Slow and steady. And then this time we're going to widen the hands past the hips and lift up and over. See how far you can reach back, supporting the neck. Nice long spine. Don't feel crumpled, but feel long. And then exhale back to the knees. Little upper back bend. And then again, inhale, arms reach up, lift up and over the body. And then exhale, come back down, slow and steady. Giving the muscles some work, trying to get them to strengthen. And then inhale, lift up, reach up, and then over the head, little bend. Hold here just for a breath. And then exhale, hands back to the knees. Place the strap down, let the shoulders just kind of shimmy, shake. And then let's pause that. Bring the chin to the chest. And then drop the skull back. Lift the chin, drop the skull back. And then exhale, chin to the chest. Making these big nods back and forth. Keeping the shoulders soft as the neck reaches back. And then exhale, long lengthen the spine, shoulders away from the ears. And then one last time, head drops back. And then head drops to the chest. Here with the chin to the chest, little rocks side to side, left and right, making half circles between the left shoulder and the right shoulder. No pain, there should be no electricity, just gentle movement side to side. It's normal to hear like the snap, crackle, and pop. Pause the next time you come to the chest and then bring the chin up to neutral. We'll come back to the strap and widest width of the day so that you can lift up and over the back. And that may be super wide. Just play back and forth, kind of flossing from the front of the body to the back of the body. And noticing the travels. Notice when it gets tight. Notice when it opens back up. And staying with those deep breaths, fully inflating and deflating the body. And try a round or two. come into some twisting. So strap here, lift the left arm up and over the head and across the body to the opposite knee. So keep the spine as it is, nice and long, as you use that hand, maybe to the back of the chair, or to the hip, just helping it to twist the body a little bit more. Not too much. You don't want to force the spine anywhere, but just trying to see how you can maximize the length of the spine and the twist of the muscles. One more full inhale, and then exhale, opposite side, cross, lengthen the spine, and then seeing where the twist can take you. And then next time you exhale, come back through center. Same thing again, but this time allow that front hand to walk down the front of the leg. So folding into the twist. So the elbow can stay on the knee, you can twist from there, the hand can come down to the floor, the foot, the bolster. Wherever you are, nice long spine. So you can take full breaths in and out. One more breath here, and then we'll come back to seated in the twist, and then work to the other side. So over, and then walking that hand down, finding a moment of pause. Big breath in, and then big breath out. This time come forward into forward fold. One hand per foot to the floor of the bolster. And pausing here for a moment into this fold. Pausing where it's a little bit more intense, taking the same expansive breaths in and out. And then one more. Big breath in. And exhale it all out. Slowly walk yourself up to center. We'll set the strap to the side and we'll set our bolster to the side. And scooch off the chair a bit so you can widen the feet. One hand per knee. And we'll start by dipping the left shoulder down towards the center, between the knees or somewhere near there. And then back up to center. Come back, switch sides, shoulder leads down. And then come back up. We'll switch again. Shoulder twists the body, lower into the fold. And then back to center. Switch sides. Lead with the shoulder, lengthen out the back of the body between the shoulder blades, the low back. Inhale, come back up. One more time, both sides, lowering down. And then coming back up. Rachel, you got the squeaky chair. Normally, Ray in my chair yoga class gets that one. And then come back to center. Shoulder rolls in one direction. And then reversing the direction. And then pausing the shoulders, one shoulder to one ear. And drop that, switch to the other ear. Just moving the neck side to side. Getting the shoulders involved. And one more time, both sides. And then we'll pause back in center. Shake all that out. And then we're going to shift towards the prop closet. One knee will drop down. So very similar to what the shoulder just did. It causes you to have to kind of scoot off the chair a little bit. go to where you are okay on the chair. Knee can be down to the floor or you can walk it back. All depends on the chair. I typically hold on to the chair for dear life because I feel like because half of my seat is off the chair, it's unstable. But I like how I can keep pushing the heel back and lengthen out that leg. I can't support my weight in this pose if the chair's not there. So from here, we want to give the low back a break. Bring the hands forward. At this point, you can go to the floor, you can use the blocks, you can use the bolsters. Let me know if you need assistance. And so here, the chair's holding some of the weight, and I can make sure that my knee and my ankle are supported, one under the other. And my props are helping support the upper body. Same thing here. Press back through that heel. Get that hip, that leg as much length as you can. And then feel the weight of the body kind of fall into that front hip. So that's your left hip, right? So let the body kind of shift some of the weight from the hip that's supporting with the chair to the unsupported hip. And then keep telling yourself nice long length, that back leg. One more breath in, and then exhale. We'll start to walk in and return to center, opening, and then we're going to shift to the other side. So let that knee fall to the ground first. Adjust the seat in the chair. And then start to walk that front leg back. The low back will like you less if you sit up. And then the low back gets a little bit of a break when you're able to fall forward. And then check out the ankle and the knee. Make sure that joint is supported. And then more attention back towards the leg. Press back towards the heel. And then let's do this subtle shift of weight from that one supported side more towards the unsupported side. Power up the back leg, nice long length. Big breath in. And then exhale. We'll slowly start to come back to the chair, so weight shifts, legs come back. Ooh, below hips. Walk the knees together. I like doing this in chair yoga. It's the little in-place run. It gives some energy. The camera likes it a lot. Woohoo! It never stopped. That's how durable that camera is. Of course, I totally remembered my tripod. Okay, so we're going to go back to that pose. So this side first. Now we know what we're getting into. Bring the props we need. Because this time we're going to try to take a little bit of weight off of the chair. So first step, walk back. Get everything where you need, supported on the top. Okay, and then focus first on the hands and that front foot. Right, they're securely placed on the blocks, on the floor. And then just think of pushing into those parts. Like if those blocks and that mat was your worst enemy and you wanted nothing to do with them, you're pushing yourself away from them. And maybe when you do that, the core also can ignite and the hips can lift a little bit. And then maybe you can push weight towards the back of the heel. And then take a deep breath. Exhale, place the hips down. And slowly walk back. We're gonna go over to the other side. Set up for that again. Make sure the body is supporting itself, so all the joints are supported, the chair's where it needs to be. And then push into the hands and that front foot. See if the core can just ignite and everything works to lift the hips a little bit off the chair. Press through the back leg. Settle the weight back down into the chair. And we'll make our way back. You can leave the blocks there. We're going to bring the feet together and forward fold. Give all the hips, the low back a good stretch. Breath in and breath out. Make your way back up. One last sitting pose before we go towards the floor. And see if you can place your feet on the bolster. The goal is that we want to try to do happy baby from a chair. So heels are hips width apart. And then just first is seeing if the upper body can rest on the lower body. Arms reach out, grab a toe, bottom of the foot. You can also grab these lovely little straps on the side. And then inhale, lengthen the spine. So this is all about the spine. Nice, long length of the spine. And then pull the chest forward, chest proud, like you're showing off that fancy necklace. But don't break the neck. So keep the neck in line with the spine. Pull like somebody's pulling the back of your head. And then exhale. Release that tension. Forward fold. See if you can be lazy in the body and maybe the weight of the head, the shoulders can pull the body a little bit more. Maybe not. Nice long breaths here. We're getting the benefit of a deep hip opener, low back, upper back. Next time you inhale, again, going to what's essentially a half lift so that you can connect the hands with the feet and still pull the chest forward. So the space between the shoulder blades on the back of the body is tight to open up the chest. One more moment long in the spine, and then exhale, forward fold again. Heavying, trying to let go of resistance. This is when we're stretching that back line of the body. Let the head hang, maybe a gentle sway. This sway tells the body you're okay. I am not rigid. I am not stuck in my ways. I'm pliable, I'm flexible. And then pause in the center one last time. Half lift, recreating happy baby with a long spine and bent legs. And exhale, forward fold. You can work your way off of the bolster, push it away. Spend a moment here just enjoying the fruits of your effort. And we're going to come down to the floor. But first I want to do a sliding forward fold while we're here. So with the hands down to the feet, see if you can lift the hips into forward fold in front of your chair. And then slowly come to stand. Making your way up, giving the low back more effort. Slowly coming to stand. With a little shake, shimmy. Okay, we're going to come down onto the backs. Where are we time-wise? Yes, have your strap and your blocks towards the top of the mat, bolster towards the bottom. And we're gonna come to our back face up. Yep, you turn towards the chair. You go up on the chair. I'm sorry. I became follow along yoga and I stopped giving you instructions. So we're going to use the chair for several things, but here it just helps us to invert, bringing the legs above the heart. And settle the effort in the hips. Maybe a wiggle back and forth. Connecting with the fact that the pelvis moves. Isn't this amazing? And then pausing that movement, we'll bring the right ankle to the left knee in this assisted forward fold. And see if you can place the left leg at the side of the chair. And then really extend that right knee towards the chair. If it's naturally towards the face, encourage it away towards the chair. Yep. Beautiful. And if these don't work, you can always uncross, put the heel on the chair. We're trying to rotate the femur bone in the hip joint. So it doesn't matter how far that is, it's your angle, your distance. Meanwhile, the arms can reach out to a T position or above the head, cactus arms. Anytime the arms go above the head, the wings of the shoulders fold inward, and that folding helps to push the chest open. Few breaths here, feeling all of that resistance in the hips fading. And then one more breath in and out. And then we'll bring that right knee towards the chest. And then straighten the right foot towards the sky. And the knee can be bent, right? The leg can be long without the joint being locked. And slowly start to guide that leg out to the side. If you want to put the strap on the leg, you can totally do that. If not, just guide that leg to wherever it stops off to the side or before you hit Rachel. Either one. Whoever comes first.
I opened my eyes and I'm like, how close am I to her?
We're just doing, we've done this a million times, right, normally with the strap. This time we're using the chair because I want your attention to be on the backs of the hips. So this time bring that leg back in the center, so the leg's straight in the center, and bring awareness to both of the backs of the hips. Now, this time as you slowly open the leg to the right side of the mat, see when the left hip lifts up. And pause. See if you can heavy that left hip and then continue to open. We just want the leg moving in the pelvis, not the whole pelvis. And it's a good place to keep the awareness so that you can shift more weight, more intention into that left hip. To keep the pelvis stable while just the leg moves in the joint. And just a breath or two more. And then let's guide the leg back to center and to rest on the chair. And just pause, both legs heavy here on the chair, release the effort in the back, the belly. Now setting up for the other side, bringing the left, the left to the right, the things. And then pressing that knee away, purposely opening the hip on the left. Returning to those deep breaths. Then focus the awareness on the low back, the two hip points. And then raise that left leg towards the sky, lengthening it out, maybe not locked straight, but just long. And keeping focus on the back of the hip, start to lower that left leg out to the left, but stop when you sense that the back of the hips are pulling away from the floor. You want to keep that right side of the body really heavy, so that the leg is moving and not the pelvis. More deep breaths in and out. Releasing and slowly coming back to center. Pressing the heel towards the sky and then lowering the left to meet the right leg. Back in the chair. Rock the hips back and forth, maybe the knees back and forth. And then bringing the feet down to the floor on either sides of the chair. We'll bring our focus back to our arms. Arms out to a T position. And then arms cross in front of the chest. And maybe the hands can wrap around, maybe they can't. And then lift the hands, the arms over the head, and then see if you can touch the floor above the head. If you can't, it's totally fine. You also will experience the face smush. If the elbows are together, you get this awkward kind of, where do I put my face? Or sometimes you have big enough armpit areas to put the face between the arms. A couple more breaths here. And then exhale. We'll uncross arms, go back out to the sides. And then let's recross opposite elbow on top. And then seeing if the arms wrap around each other, and then reaching above and over the head, however the arms allow. And one more breath here, in and out, and then exhale, bringing the arms down, pausing the body, heavying the bones to the floor just for a moment. And then our feet will come back to the chair. And they're just going to lay there. So we're taking a form of an inversion. If you have a block nearby, you can push the legs into the chair to lift the hips. And your hips can come to a block. Some people just like to stay where they are, no hips on blocks, so that's always an option. We're just trying to get some elevation in the body. The head above the heart is the technical definition of an inversion, but this gets us a little higher than normal, while putting a bend in the back. And creating a little bit more space in the spine. Settle into some longer breaths. In and out. Allowing the arms to fall away. Maybe field goal arms are extended out to the sides. Settling into some lengthy breaths, increasing the space inside the body, and then releasing, settling into that space. A couple times, just like that. And for one last addition, one last option, you can bend the legs, put more of the weight into the block, scoot the legs off the chair and lift them to the sky. Or lots of names for this: waterfall pose, legs up the wall. Lifting a little bit more of the resistance away from the floor and letting the body just be. Last couple breaths here. And slowly bringing the legs back down. Supporting the body with the feet on the floor or the chair, depending on what you're comfortable with. And then we'll lift the weight of the body off the block, move the block to the side. Return the spine to the floor and bring the knees into the chest. You can push that chair away. We're done with your chair. And then you can find some space to rock the body back and forth. Knees to the chest. Yep, you got the squeaky. Squeaky board.
Chair and the floor.
Right? It's a bonus day, Rachel. The universe wants us all to see and hear you. Okay, no more rocking. Legs back down to the floor. Little bridge pose before we settle in. So heels close to the seat as you can. Arms reach out to the feet, alongside of the body. And then press into the feet and lift the hips just a little off the floor. And then set the spine back down. Again, inhale, push into the floor, lift the hips, little baby bridges. And then exhale back down. And last time like that, inhale, push down into the feet, lift the hips. We'll stay here for a moment. Deep breath in, and then exhale, lower the spine down. Slow and steady until the tailbone's the last thing. And then we'll start again. Inhale, push into the hands and feet, lift the hips. Hold for a breath. Think of pressing down to lift up. And then exhale, slow and steady. Lower the spine back down. Don't forget the mid back, the low back, and then all of the bones of the sacrum inhale, press down, lift up. Stay pressing here for an extra breath. Really think about pushing through the chest, shoulder blades together. And then exhale, slowly lower down. This time when the tailbone touches down, bring the knees into the chest. One hand per knee, draw big circles with the knees. Together or in separate directions. And then pausing here, laying the legs back down onto the floor, stretching out for final resting pose. Taking the time to place the body in a pose where you can think less about the body and more about releasing, softening. And finding your way into this practice of letting go and just being. Begin to deepen your breath. Graze the tips of each finger with the pad of your thumb. your toes wide. Slowly rolling yourself onto your right side. And pausing in fetal position. Just pausing here, listening, allowing the benefits of this practice to settle in. Settle into the mind so you can remember what it felt like. Settle into the breath so you can find this rhythm again. Perhaps set an intention here for moving forward with your day or the weekend. And then with eyes closed, or just a soft gaze, rise up to your seat. And here, spending a moment in gratitude for all of the gifts we've already received, everything we already have. And my final wishes for you to be happy and healthy, safe and protected, calm and connected, peaceful and free. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a little Saturday gifty. Love spreading joy. And that little joy. And we stopped. The joy has been restocked. Richard had a gator. And mine's a fat gator. That's great.
Those are so cute.
What did you get?
A little capybara.
Aww. I love these. So I don't know if I've ever shared the story with these. When I started cancer treatment, it was rough, like just emotional. And I broke down at one of the women's check-in desks because I was there on the wrong day. I was in the wrong location. It was a mess. And so she said the sweetest thing, which was, what can I do right now to help you feel better? And she had all these little trinkets on her desk, and I go, well, those are really cute. Can you tell me about those? Because when she said that, I was like, oh, well, what's that? And she said, those are my bits of joy, and they're actually for moments just like this. Why didn't I think about it? It's like they're meant to remind you that this is just a moment, and it's going to pass, and you can laugh at this little chicken, or you can yell at it, whatever you need, it's basically a moment for you. She goes, why don't you pick one of them? And I actually carry it on my Shruti box. Avery made me a little pouch, and I carry it in a little glass vial because it's precious. That little bit of joy is just precious. So put these where you need a pick-me-up, or put it someplace where you look. I have habitual look locations. I know it sounds strange, but in my house, my eyes always go there. They always go there. So I tend to put little things or post-its in those look spots so that you have a reminder of okay, I got this. I got this little bit of joy. No problem. So I hope it brings you some laughter and good pause as well. You are very welcome. And to answer your question, Amazon. Everything's Amazon. Tiny acrylic figurines. And they're sea creatures, there's bunnies. I discovered them really because Avery used to buy little gifts for all of her friends at school, and we had nothing. So we could get 100 for $7. Right. And so she could give them away to all her friends, and she took the bag, and so that Christmases for 3 years, where she had frogs, bunnies, and then sea creatures. And I'm like, oh, those are perfect. Yeah, extruded someplace in China, and but if you know of anyone who makes tiny